you all. She said, through youth group, Sunday school, care groups, and being a part of a congregation, I have felt the unique community we have here. And that's what she has, and we echo all that.
And she probably would have had more to elaborate on, but we also, just every week almost, we have youth group with middle and high school. And last year, Chuck started having high school weekday meetings at Panera, so we've really been able to meet throughout the week, which is something we hadn't done as much. And it means a lot to know that within youth group and just the whole congregation, that there's always people here, they're dedicating their time to support us, and within the youth group, there's always ears ready to listen to the stories, concerns, and celebrations that we have. And through all the transitions and things that we've seen, this community has always been a constant that we can go to, and just knowing that it's here for us is always really comforting. Okay. Next, our mission trips. I think Megan had some more about this. Okay. She said that Heifer, Louisville, when we went, Tennyson all provided real-world experiences and taught skills that she will carry with her for the rest of her life.
I know one of my favorite experiences in the youth group was going to Colorado and going to the Tennyson Center. That has made a lasting impression on me and is part of why I wanted to go into psychology, what I learned and experienced there. And I loved making the connections with the kids. We helped in classrooms and we met some really amazing kids, and I still like think about them a lot now. Like sometimes I'll think, like, there's this kid who tried to give me a betta fish, and that was really funny. And sometimes they like make up songs, and it was really great to get to know them.
And didn't you write your college essay about them?
Yeah, that was
about that trip.
My college application essay was about going to the Tennyson Center and learning with them and growing there, and that was really cool.
And even though like we know that you don't really have to travel a long distance to find somewhere to help, but the trips all had the service part and volunteering our time or learning about something really important in our world, and it's usually social justice related, but we also get to become closer as a group, and we learn a lot of new things about each other. So it serves those two purposes, which are really helpful, and they kind of carry us through the whole year, those connections that we make, and it's a really nice summer thing. And even though we can't do it this year, we've got different ways of staying connected now. But and also something that Megan, I think, was also going to share is about how the unexpected situations are the parts that are most memorable about these trips, and overcoming those obstacles are really important for the things we learn on this trip. And we actually weren't on this one that she was going to talk about, but I just remember hearing a bunch of stories the weeks after about, I think they were riding bikes, and there was a bike crash, and they ended up having to go to the hospital or something. I don't remember, but it was just a really crazy experience. But they came out of it, and that was, well, it was very memorable, but they also, they learned a lot. And I can't put it too eloquently because I wasn't there, but that was something else she was going to share. Okay. Tall Oaks, and all we have for this is what Megan has, because we never went to the Tall Oaks camp, which we probably should, because they always sounded really good. But we're going to try to find Megan's stuff on that. Okay. I think we only have half of what she was going to say, but I'll share it. Okay.
So good. Even half is great.
Um, Part of Tall Oaks is the GKC-RYC, which is a group of juniors and seniors from the KC region who meet once a month to plan events for the youth. These events include a fall bonfire, midwinter, the camp in the winter, Tall Oaks Gala, and summer camp. She applied her sophomore year to be a part of the group for her junior year and was selected, and has even was voted to be secretary. She loves the group so much, and she reapplied to serve a second year, and has been so lucky to be moderator this past year. This group has allowed her to see all of her camp friends more often, has taught her how to be a leader, and ultimately deepened her love for Tall Oaks and of all her people. Currently, we are very busy trying to plan how camp will function this summer online since Tall Oaks is closed. It has been very difficult, but the attitude and commitment of this group just shows how important Tall Oaks is to each and every one of them. Oh, there is more. Okay. We're kind of struggling with the organization, but okay. I'm trying to figure out how it starts. It allows her to spend time with children, which she loves, and help them create a strong connection with God in Tall Oaks, so Tall Oaks can enrich the lives of many others. Tall Oaks has created some of her fondest memories. She thinks it is also cool that she gets to meet and see people from all over the KC area. And for many, that is the only time they get to see each other during those camps. And it also adds to the magical sense of the camp because they get to, just pick up right where they left off the year before. So that's Tall Oaks and music.
Okay. So I've been participating in music for a long time here, and it's been amazing with all the other talented musicians, and I am so grateful that I got the opportunity to do it. I've definitely grown a lot as a musician since I started, and it's helped me learn how to be organized with what I have to do, and it's more than doing something at school. It's like something that you're actually sharing your music, and I've really loved doing that. And I love on youth Sundays when we get all the musicians together. It's been so fun to get to know people and come together to create art.
And I've played and sung for a lot of youth Sundays, and I've played with the ensemble throughout the year, Less Than Melody, but it's a really unique experience that we don't get really anywhere else. And even though I'm not planning on going into music professionally, I really love playing the bass and singing, so it's an opportunity to continue to do that, and I know I can continue doing that. And also, even in high school, it's a way to do it without, I don't have to solely focus on it, but I can invest time in it and share it with people, even though I'm not gonna be a professional bassist, or anything. And also you get a lot of independence just being on. When I'm playing bass, I'm the only person playing bass or singing. There's not as many people as when I'm in choir, so there's that, which is also different, and you're just singing different types of music than school, and also than other churches. We're lucky that we get to do a lot of different things, which is a really cool part of participating in the music too. And the music, and also just when we present during Youth Sunday, it's a great place to practice public speaking and being comfortable in front of an audience, which I definitely needed help with, and I'm still working on it, but it's a really good place to do it. And you're in front of a really supporting audience, a supporting congregation, and who is not judging you. So it's a very nice place to get that practice in. Okay.
And then VVS, we've both been doing it. I think Megan's done it since we were in middle school, since like 6th grade. And it's always been one of the really fun parts of our summer. We love hanging out with the kids, and then we also help teach Sunday school, and it's really great because then we get to know them that week, and then they're not so, I don't know, they get to know us too, and it's really fun. We also hang out in the nursery a lot through that week and love hanging out with the babies.
Yeah, I think VBS is a really important part of growing up at St. Andrew when you experience it. We moved when we were in elementary school, so we had a couple years here, like participating in it, but then even just volunteering at it, I think it's a pretty important part of growing up in St. Andrew. And it's also really cool that at the end of every week, there's always kids, especially like the 5th graders, who are really excited to be in middle school so they can help with VBS, which I think really kind of shows what our church is about, and also just how much they want to make VBS a great experience for the younger kids. And even the younger kids, they're always excited to come back, which is really great to see. And yeah, I think Melody shared about how we get to meet kids who are younger than us so we don't see too much otherwise. And now I've got a little bit from Megan. VBS has, she's been helping out since she was able to, and she hasn't done it all 6 years because of scheduling conflicts, but she always enjoyed being a part of it. She usually helped in the nursery, but it has been fun playing with the kids and just jamming out with them. Even though they were little, I feel like the nursery team tried to still give them a fun experience. The songs are always her favorite part, and the dancing. It's always very catchy and gets stuck in your head. The 3 of us have also been a part of teaching preschool Sunday school for the past 2 or 3 years, and it's been fun to help those guys get a start on their faith journey. She loves seeing their imagination, and they are all a bundle of joy. And I think that actually gets into Sunday school, which you can see we don't have many pictures of us in Sunday school. So we found some when we were in elementary school for one of the Christmas performances we did. So, but let's see.
I've loved hanging out with the kids in Sunday school. At first, it was, the schedules changed, but now we've been doing it once a month before quarantine, or a couple times a month, and it's been really great to get to know them. I love my collection of coloring book pages and sticker pages that I've gotten, and it's really sweet when they come in and they're so happy to see everyone. We've been doing it for a few years, and it's been great to watch all these kids grow up, and although we're not really that much out of being a kid, we still are, but we've been hanging out with these kids, and now the ones we were hanging out with in preschool a few years ago are in like 2nd and 3rd grade, and it's really exciting.
And I think it's really cool because we just get to see how St. Andrew affects them, and it kind of makes us think about how much of our identity is from growing up with St. Andrew and all the great things we've been taught. And it's one of my favorite things to do, just because it keeps me involved, and I just like being with kids too. And yeah, I think Melody said a lot about how we can see everyone grow up is really cool, and makes us think about our own growth too. So it's been very good. And then I think questions?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
This is for Daphne.
Okay.
Actually, I know that Melody's going to go, she's in college, she's going to work on psychology and music for her majors, correct? And Daphne, I think you said you don't have one yet, but I just wanted to say that communication would be a great thing for you. You've done a beautiful job today.
Well,
as
thank
well
you.
as Melody, and you're very organized, and whatever either one of you do will be very, very good, I'm sure.
Thank you.
And I'm very impressed with all the different levels of activities you've been involved in through the years, and even, you know, in your high school years, especially with the younger kids. You know, that's so important to make an impression on them. And I can see joy in your faces about being able to actually work with them and then see them grow, which makes a big difference. So anyway, I really appreciate your presentation. I'm sorry Megan wasn't able to be here today, but you did a good job, you know, letting her presence be known too. So best of luck for you. Lots of prayers for whatever happens in the form of your college education, whether it's online or in person, you know, for your safety and for your growth. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's always been
Melody,
great.
go ahead. I was just going to say hi, Melody and Daphne. It's been a lot of years since I've had children your age or young people your age, but it really makes me think back to those years. Even thinking back to my own years growing up in church and Sunday school, camping and youth group activities, and then my own boys as they were growing up, and just reaffirms again, I mean, you know, I've always known how important it is for children to be part of the life of the church, but you've just reaffirmed that so strongly this morning. So thank you for all you've done for the children in our church, the young people coming up behind you. And I certainly wish both of you the very best as you move forward into the next phase of your lives. And I know you're both headed for college, but I'm not remembering where you're off to.
We're both going to Truman State in Kirksville, Missouri. So hopefully in the
Best of
fall.
luck.
But thank
Yeah.
you so much. We also, wait, sorry.
So I was going to say, this is Marcia, and I appreciate you doing this. It has been rare for us in adult ed to have young people present, and it gives us an idea of doing more of it, because for me, one of the things you have showed me how much church education has done so much, because I can remember being in church, and there wasn't the vitality, there weren't the trips, there were not all these other wonderful things that our church and probably other churches now are doing for young people. And I think tell me more about, is it Melody who said that you're going to study psychology, and you learned so much from being at the organization in Colorado. Can you talk a little bit more about what that was? I forgot what that program was. Did you visit it?
Yeah, it was the Tennyson Center, and it's a center for children. A lot of them have gone through some pretty rough situations. It's very supportive for kids with a whole bunch of different needs, and it's helping. And we got to stay with the classes, and at the beginning it was kind of daunting almost, because they had a briefing session, and they were telling us about all the things that we might see, of like things that could be like kind of scary, seeing like big tantrums, or like people, or these like kids saying things or knowing things that wouldn't want a kid to have to experience. But then by the end of it, I'm always really curious about how people think, and I like understanding people. And after a week with those kids so many of them have gone through so much, but they were still like so sweet and so open, a lot of them. And it made me just really want to understand people more and to learn how you can best support people who need the support. And that's part of why I want to study psychology. And it's a great experience.
If I may ask, I want to dig a little deeper. What kind of activities did you, as young people coming into the Tennyson Center, did they, for example, did they assign you to one child? Or did they assign you to different age groups? How did you interact with them?
We each had a classroom, so there were people within like the same few years, and we went and did things with them throughout the week, so they got to know us. And it's a really interesting program because like you're there for a week, and some of these kids like have different ways of forming attachments, but they're trying to emphasize the idea of like a friendly stranger or acquaintance and creating healthy relationships of people coming in and out of your lives, because they wanted them to be able to trust people even though they weren't going to see them for more than a week. And so we got to know them, and then it was like learning how to say bye in a healthy way, and it's very cool.
And also with the classrooms, they were kind of by age, but they talked about, just for a bunch of different reasons, how their age, like they didn't necessarily have the same years of the same education either, because when you're experiencing trauma, you can't, like there's the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can't learn schoolwork when you're experiencing trauma like that. So they do it based on needs, but just like educational and just emotional needs. So that's how they're in pretty small classes. I think there were like probably 8 kids around in each classroom. So we got to get to know everyone pretty well.
I think you guys are kind of modest about helping at VBS in the nursery. Mostly what that means is that they did before care, because we offer early drop-off. So Megan sometimes, and Daphne and Melody almost always in the last few years, have done before care, which means they get to church at 7:30. And they watch the kids who are dropped off early. This is in the summertime when I'm sure they'd rather be sleeping, but they were always happy to volunteer for that or to respond when asked. Both ways. So that's a big deal. And then I don't remember if you guys stayed in the nursery throughout the morning or got out and did other things, maybe both sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's a big deal and a huge help to working parents. So thanks for that. And this preschool help too in Sunday school. By the way, those Sunday school pictures that you found are pretty amazing to see. Young and Megan that young and everybody that young.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, like in the preschool class, there's 4 adult teachers, so to speak, who are 2 teams of 2. And then we have 4 teenagers that rotate. So Daphne, Melody, and Megan were 3 of those 4. And it's a huge help because that was a big class and somewhat challenging class sometimes. And so really 2 adults was not enough. And so they stepped in and have just done a fabulous job. And so I really want to thank you guys for that. And I'm sure it was a benefit to you, but certainly a benefit to those and the program in general. So thank you for that.
We were happy to. It was always great.
Yeah, that's a fun class.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite VBS?
There's still, I don't remember what year it is. It was a few years ago, I think. But they had the Rolling River Rampage, and that song still gets stuck in my head every once in a while.
Yeah, those songs can be pretty good.
and this isn't completely have to do with it, but our friend goes to a different church, but they did it the same year as we did. So we came back and we heard her singing it. We're like, did your church do the Rolling River Rampage too?
Yeah.
But it's so and that was actually Madeline, and she came here for a year, and then her parents moved, but she still keeps in contact with us. But
Yeah, and she graduated this year too, right?
yeah, and that's another thing about this church is I think we just brought her. She came and visited once, and her family decided to come over, and it was just great. It was fun because we had someone from our school, but also just she was accepted, and which clearly she would be. But I remember on the mission trip, she was saying something about still being or feeling like new or like a visitor, and Chuck was just like, you've reached the point where you're part of the church. Yeah, but it's just, you know, always having that voice that someone you to tell you that you're a part of it, and that was a really cool thing too.
Melody and Daphne, I just want to say that you give us so much hope for our future. Your understanding and willingness to participate in all this social justice activities, and your compassion for people, plus your talents. We just know that we're in good shape for our future with you all going out and getting your educations and continuing to serve. Thank you.
Thanks.
That goes out also to Megan.
We'll pass it along. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a great experience. We're really thankful for everything that this church has done, and we're glad that we ended up here. I don't really remember when we visited or anything. It
Just kind of showed up.
Yeah, and we never left. So it's been really great, and really thankful for this whole congregation.
Hey, Daphne and Melody, this is Chris, and we've not really had a chance to meet, but I wanted to share kind of two sides of the coin. One, just thankful that St. Andrew's been a place that's provided so many ways for you to participate in an open way. There's no barrier of where you participate. So it's nice to have a church that allows you that many opportunities. But the other side is you chose to participate in them. There's a lot that choose not to participate, and you chose to really engage in the church and all the facets that the church has to offer. And it's evident in how each of you shared your story today. It's added to your maturity and your gifts and your talents. And just as the church provide those opportunities, you're choosing to be involved in them makes a huge difference in your life. And I'm thankful. It's evident how much the church has meant to you, but it's also true how much that you have meant to the church. It goes both ways. So just wanted to say thank you for that.
Yeah, we get out as much as we put in. We get out more than we put in, but it's been so great. And sometimes there were times when, especially a little bit during junior year, when that's the busy year, and Melody stayed pretty strong. I kind of faded out a little bit for a bit, but it was, you know, just coming back every time, and it was never for very long. And it's a really great thing. And it's, you know, we don't really have anything else during the week that even comes close to it. And it's this community outside of school, which is really, like, we have our music lessons, but other than that, this is the big community that we have that's more than just our age group, especially.
I might also just clarify when you were talking about reading some of Megan's stuff, and she was talking about GKCRYC. It was Greater Kansas City Regional Youth Cabinet. And she made it pretty clear that she had to apply for that and everything. But it's basically the leadership team of, kids who go to camp. So it's juniors and seniors, and they apply. They have to interview to be on that leadership team. And St. Andrew has always been really well represented. We have always had a lot of kids on that. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that that's what she was talking about. And Chuck Pickrell is one of the adult sponsors of that group. And they really do work a lot with them and let those kids plan camp, plan midwinter. They're working now to plan the summer stuff, as she said, which is, we all know, pretty challenging to figure out new ways to do our normal stuff. So anyway, that I just wanted to clarify what that group was called. And so she's done a good job there, obviously.
I don't know if there's any more questions or anything. I'm gonna double check and make sure we didn't leave out any of her note cards. I think we hit them all though. Okay. Looks like we got it. Okay.
Folks, have any other questions? You guys did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks you all for just being a great community and group that we know is really supportive and everything. We're really thankful.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks, you guys. That was
Girls,
great.
and we'll be looking forward to hearing about all of your adventures at Truman State. All the best.
Of course.
We will. And if you, hopefully you get to go in the fall. We'll keep you in our prayers for that. And but it will be a new experience either way. So we'll support you if you have to stay at home.
Thank you.
So, all right. Thanks everyone for coming too.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.